BLD BeatDown. This is the program where me, Big Jim, and Hyperactive Ninja Boy go through the weekend's WWE pay-per-view. And this weekend, Father's Day, we're in Paradise, Nevada, for Money in Bank. Not Rumble in the Jungle, something over here just rumbled.
Drive-by.
But we're drive-by. If you've seen Deadpool, you'll understand that joke. Already, we're getting off the beaten track. Let's get back to WWE Money in the Bank. Now, my assistant here, Ninja Boy, will go through each of the bouts and we will give our own little interpretation of what we think is going to happen. So to start off with, there's two confrontations on the pre-show. I don't like to miss out the pre-show because a lot of people do catch it, especially if you've got the WWE Network for $9.99. Anyway, Ninja Boy, let's hit it with the first match, which is...
Even though they said the rivalry would end last month, it's still going. Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin.
Now then, for me, the question here is who's actually going to make it into the ring? Because what normally happens is Dolph Ziggler gets beaten up before he gets anywhere near the ring.
And then he got payback on Baron Corbin.
Yeah, to be quite honest, I guess it's a feud that's getting Corbin more publicity and getting him more used to the WWE arena. I feel a bit sorry for Dolph Ziggler. He's not really had an awful lot to do in terms of serious fighting for the last 18 months, 2 years. So, again, this is a bit...
When big, go small.
So, I've got a feeling Corbin will do it again just because they seem to be using Zig as his whipping boy. But we'll see how we get on. What do you reckon, Ninja Boy?
I think it's hard to see because they've already had just so many matches and there's no storyline. So it's just... I'm going for Dolph.
Yeah, you go for Dolph. And we'll come back and let you know on Monday how we've got on with our little predictions. Our predictions. Right, next up. Second match in the pre-show.
We have Apollo Crews versus Sheamus.
And we were quite impressed with Apollo Crews when we were at the filming of Raw and SmackDown in London here a couple of months ago. And he's obviously a man on the way up before he comes back down again off the ropes. So I fancy Apollo Crews to carry on a good recent run and to pick out the win. No words necessary, obviously. Right, now let's move on to the real meat and drink of the night. Coming up, Paradise, Nevada, suburb of Las Vegas. What have we got? There's the women's match. I think the women's match is the one we better talk about first, don't you? Can you just read out who that is between?
Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Becky Lynch.
Now this has obviously been building up for a little while. We seem to have given up on Sasha Banks. I don't know what's happened to Sasha. We love Sasha. What's happened to her? In fact, I'd quite like her to be the women's champ right now. So I don't know why she's been kind of pushed to one side. You're not an Natalya fan, are you? So this is a bit sort of... I'm not really sure what the point of all of this is. Yes, it's a bit different, but Charlotte's had the title for a little while. It's about time now someone else stepped in, isn't it? So I don't really care much about this bout, to be quite honest with you. But it would be fun to see Becky and Natalya win, just because I'm fed up with seeing Charlotte win all the time. Ninja Boy?
I think Becky will get the pin or submission.
Right.
On whoever.
Right. Next match. Rusev. Give us...
It's for this title, by the way.
Right, yeah. Well, obviously, WWE have lent us all the belts so that we can just look after them for the day and do our little preview. Then we've got to courier them back to WWE headquarters in Orlando so they can then get them to Paradise, Nevada in time.
Why can't we just go to Vegas?
Yeah, we should just go to Vegas, really, shouldn't we? Yeah. Anyway, come on, what was the match? We've got Rusev. Who's he fighting again?
Titus O'Neil.
Titus. Now this is a strange one. Titus.
Talking to Vegas means that.
Titus suddenly. Yes, very true. Good link. Good segue. Titus seems to have been trotted out recently as Rusev's latest big threat of an opponent. And to be quite, where are you off to now? He cannot stay in front of the camera for more than 1 minute, can he? I'm just not sure really where they're going with this one either. Rusev, I mean, the biggest disappointment for me is Lana. We had Lana at WrestleMania. She was finally unveiled as a proper diva. We'd been reading for months about how she was training and it was all going well and she was having a little spats with Paige and people via Twitter. But she was finally being unveiled as a proper diva. and then nothing, and now she's just back being eye candy to stroll around with the Mad Russian who's actually Bulgarian. So I'm not really sure. Not really sure what storyline we're meant to be following here. I mean, it's fun seeing Titus get involved. He's a big beast of a man, isn't he, Titus? Wouldn't want to cross him. So it's going to be a bruising encounter. But again, I fear Rusev is going to be the winner.
It's too obvious, isn't it? It's just too obvious. Rusev's going to win. It's going to be like Titus. He keeps on being scared of Titus. And it's going to be like he ends up winning. It's
too obvious. Ninja Boy makes it the boldest prediction so far. It's too obvious. You heard it here first. Next up, we have...
New Day! Again.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have to do the whole lot now. We want impressions of all the tag teams.
Okay. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Yeah, not really a lot you can do for them, is there? Apart from... Hang on, come here. Gallows and Anderson. Bald! There you go. Next up.
It is Enzo Amore and Big Cass.
Yeah, well, come on then. I'll be Big Cass.
Couple
Very good. I thought you were going to do the certified G entrance.
And you can't teach
that. Right, very good. And finally.
The Vaudevillains.
Yeah, don't like the Vaudevillains. This is boring. 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 Well, very obvious from anyone who's seen our videos recently just doing Supercar. That's enough with the old raspberries. Certainly from my point of view, there's only one pair, that's a bit of a clue, one pair who I want to see win. New Day, they've grown on me over the past 12 months, and I do love all their antics and everything, but if they lost, they're still going to be there, and they're still going to be coming back and trying to get the title back. I think it's time to see Enzo Amore and Big Cass take the title. We absolutely love them to pieces. Absolutely love them to pieces. Bada boom! Best guys in the room. Toughest guys in the room. Most talented guys in the room. Realest guys in the room. So that's who I'd like to see win. Whether they actually win, don't know. But I would love to see them win. So that's who I'm going to go for.
Now this theory for this will carry into the next match we're going to talk about.
Right. So Ninja Boy theory coming up.
Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson might win.
Right. Which suggests we're then going to talk about AJ Styles next.
Yeah.
So you're going for Gallows and Anderson? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. You know, they've come in, they've ruffled a few feathers, bloodied a few noses. And see, there's gonna
and destroyed a few cousins.
Yeah, indeed. So so that leads us on nicely then to
John Cena versus AJ Styles.
John Cena's back in action,
and back in being hit in the face again.
Now, the thing with John Cena is, after all that build-up and getting him back in action, it is good to see him back. I know that there's he's a bit sort of chalk and cheese type character with people not quite sure whether I want to see him continue with his long service with the WWE. But as he said himself, he's not going anywhere. He's still got plenty to give to the WWE. But
you can't see me.
What I would question is what's happening with AJ Styles. He was brought in. Everyone loved to see that AJ Styles was finally with the WWE. What are you doing, man? He's getting footballs, Christmas hats. I was just like, he's got a whole load of props over him. I'm not quite sure what relevance they've got to what we're doing.
You can't see me.
Right, okay. There you go. That was the relevance.
You can't see me.
Yeah, AJ Styles. It's a great trumpeted fanfare of an arrival. He has a title fight. And then within a week, he's fighting sort of B-listers. And he didn't even qualify for Money in the Bank. And now all of a sudden, he's turned heel. He's turned heel. And he's fighting John Cena. There was a good crowd reaction when the two of them were in the ring. Was it Raw?
Yeah.
It was Raw, wasn't it? Where the crowd were chanting for the between the two of them.
AJ Styles, let's go Cena.
I guess because Cena's just come back, they'll probably let Styles win this one. And then it'll build up the rivalry. But whether this rivalry will then go into SmackDown or Raw, well, that's a whole other conversation. Because where are we going with the split? Where are we going with the split? Now, you've said something about how you were carrying on that train of thought. Let's just retain that thought of the split as we move on and talk about the next fight.
Now, I
Sorry,
got
mate,
so
actually.
many theories about the last two fights that we
Actually,
just
mate,
talked about.
What's your prediction for this one?
AJ Styles, I think it's going to be a big night for the club. It's going to be like, they're going to be like
I love the
Shield.
hat, by the way.
Ver-
West Ham Christmas hat.
they're going to be like Shield version 2, I believe.
Yeah.
So like they're going to have this big first night,
Right.
and yeah,
So you reckon it's
Styles going to win,
okay?
and then Gallows and Anderson with titles.
So what does that lead us up to?
And also,
Oh, sorry, hasn't
another
finished.
theory, as you were saying, the brand split. I
Yeah.
think New Day will lose titles because then they'll get split up and become solo again.
Right. Oh, you think that? Well, that's quite a
Might
big shout.
happen.
That's quite a big shout.
So it's the fall of New Day and the rise of the club.
Right. Are we talking ladders next? Have we reached the ladders yet, or is there anything else to talk about?
We are now in the money in the bank.
And we've got, is it 6 people fighting?
Yeah.
6 people. We've got
Alberto Del Rio.
Alberto Del Rio. We have
Sami Zayn.
there is Kevin
Cesaro.
Owens. Got a similar physique to Kevin Owens. At least I've got the barrel chest. There is, the Cesaro. There is also
And the guy who's going to walk out as the champion after the night, Dean Ambrose, calling it.
It's Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, on
and
the Ambrose Asylum, if you saw that, he said at the end he might win, and
hang on, you idiot!
at the start...
You idiot! There's
Yeah,
one more
I'm about
person to
say
mention.
that, I'm about to say
You
that.
idiot!
On the Ambrose Asylum, at the end, he
Are we
said
holding hands?
he
What's
could
going on here?
win. And that's what I said at the start when we were watching it.
Right.
And then, of course, there's a stupid idiot, stupid idiot, stupid idiot!
Chris Jericho,
Chris
for those of
Jericho.
you who've got no idea what we're talking about. But if you've got no idea what we're talking about, you probably haven't watched WWE for a while. So out of that big gathering, you reckon Dino's going to be the man, do you? Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Who do you think? Well, obviously, you normally get a scenario where it's down to 2 or 3 in the ring and you get the final 2.
No, I don't think it's
So-
going to be Dean, I just want that to happen.
You just want it to happen.
I think it's going to be Kevin Owens.
Interesting shout. I think it could be Dean because we've got this whole Shield reunion thing going on. You know, there was
You know what? I don't
Ambrose.
think it's Dean.
There was the Ambrose Asylum bit the other day. It was very amusing when you got Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins facing off in
got
the
my
ring
theories.
as part of Ambrose Asylum. He changed his mind every 2 minutes.
I am the Big Bang
and
Theory.
whoever wins in the main fight, which we shall come to, I reckon you then have Dean. And Dean's earned his slot. I mean, he's worked flipping hard. We've been to a few live shows as well. Dean Ambrose just seems to be working every day of every week. I don't know how he does it.
Not as much as AJ Styles was there.
Probably why they're calling him the lunatic for. In fact, the only time I've seen him tired or a bit weary was the day after he and Chris Jericho had fought in that asylum cell that he'd had made up. And they were both moving around pretty gingerly the following day. I mean, Chris Jericho as well. What a trooper.
69 thumbtacks.
What a true pro.
He had 3.
And again, while they were in London,
got 3
those two were featured in the dark shows, which is the matches that go on after the recording's
Yeah,
finished.
you didn't get to see it.
That's a bit rude. A bit rude to the viewers. Anyway, so I'm
might
going to
say
go
that.
for Dean Ambrose, and you're saying Kevin Owens
No.
probably, but you'd like Dean Ambrose.
I'm going 50-50 between Ambrose and Owens.
All right, well, there are 6 people in it. I'll let you get away with that. I'll let you get away with the 50-50. But that brings us on to the main event. It's the big one, and it's the first time they will have fought competitively without, so say, anyone else in the ring. It's Roman Reigns, the champion, against Seth Rollins, the former champion who didn't actually lose the belt, as he loves to tell people at every given
Even
opportunity.
though he could have lost it many, many times.
Now,
I thought it was Seth Rollins versus... No, Roman Reigns versus J&J Security.
oh right, okay. Now, what I would say with
The
this...
return!
What I would say with this is we've got this split. I mentioned the split between Raw and SmackDown. One thing that isn't split is the main title belt. We had the WWE title, we had the heavyweight title,
World Heavyweight Championship.
and they became heavyweight championship of the world. They became merged as the one title. Now that's gone on for, well, how long's that now? 8 months?
It was
Yeah.
2014 December in TLC.
The man knows.
Between these two.
Encyclopedic
And the winner?
knowledge. So you see, having combined those 2 belts, how can you have Raw and SmackDown split, but have the champion just on one side? Surely you really need to have a champion on both sides. So I don't quite know how they would do it, but I've got this feeling there could be some sort of storyline where the belts become split again, so that the heavyweight champion can go off to one side and the standard champion can go off to another. It's just one theory, but that flies in the face of what I was saying what I was saying about Dean Ambrose, because you obviously can't fight both. And what do you do with the Money in the Bank briefcase? So it does have its problems, unless the Money in the Bank winner cashes in on the night. That could be interesting. So there's all sorts of twists and turns. There's all sorts. Well, tell the people what happened.
Well, Kane won it. Then 15 minutes later, he cashed in on Rey Mysterio. The one.
There you go. So I think we're in for.
I forgot my theory.
I think we're in for a bit.
Remember.
We're in for a bit of an interesting night because of all these potential twists and turns. But if it just comes down to the straightforward battle, probably Roman would retain it if it was just a straightforward battle. But I don't think it is going to be. I think we're in for a few surprises. Ninja Boy, what is your theory?
Well, this is to do with the brand split, yeah.
Right.
Before.
Does it affect the title fight?
It affects the title.
You go for it.
Before.
Got to keep it on track.
When they've had brand splits.
Yeah.
Both the WWE champion and the World Heavyweight champion were on Raw, so they made another World Heavyweight championship for SmackDown.
Yeah, well
so they might make another championship.
But then, yeah, I thought about that, but that's why I thought they'd be better off splitting what they had back to what it was formerly. Otherwise, you're actually then creating, an extra belt when you already had two belts, if that makes sense. This is just sort of reinstating it to what it was, and then you get a perfect split between the two brands. That was my theory anyway. So there we have it. What's your theory?
I didn't get to make a prediction.
He hasn't finished yet. You stop interrupting him. Let him talk. It wasn't me. I didn't interrupt him.
Okay.
Go for it.
So I'm going to cover him up, and now I'm going to speak. So what I think's going to happen is basically there's going to be, there's some different ways, and one of them is a Randy Orton return, attacking one of them.
Yeah.
Or,
come on.
or Roman's gonna win, and then Dean cashes in.
Right.
Roman's gonna win, then Dean cashes in.
So what is your gut feeling? Just give us a bold prediction. What's going to happen?
Roman wins, Dean cashes in.
Nice. So Dean Ambrose, by the end of the evening, is going to be our new champion?
Possibly.
Possibly. It's all possibly at this stage.
Can't wait.
Let us know what your possibilities
I
are.
want this guy to return.
What are your theories? What do you think's going to happen? Let us know in the comments down below. If you like the video, please give us a like. If you want to see more of this kind of thing, please subscribe. We do BLD BeatDown, which is previewing all the big WWE pay-per-views. Whether I'm going to be doing my preview for Yahoo Sport or not, I'm still waiting to hear, because all the guys are in France at the moment, covering the Euro 2016. So communication between London and France hasn't been good. But I don't blame them, because they've been a bit busy. So if I do that, I will let you know on Twitter, @BadLadDad, and that will be a Facebook Live thing on Yahoo Sports page. If I don't do that, you've had this. If you want to see some more, as I say, please subscribe down below. We're on Twitter, @BadLadDad. We're on Facebook, @BadLadDad. We're on Instagram, @BadLadDad. And we love having you along. Let us know what you're up to. And we will see you real soon. Until we do, you stay cool.
Yeah, stay cool.